Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. Well, I'm here today to review Solo, a Star Wars story. Another one of these Disney standalone Star Wars movies. Now, I've been really looking forward to watching this. However, there has been a strange uneasiness about waiting to watch this movie. Mainly due to the backlash, almost it seems, that Last Jedi received. Whatever you think of that movie, I personally enjoyed it. I think there's no denying that after that movie, people felt a little bit differently towards the Star Wars movies. And I was worried that this film was going to feel the backlash of this. And I've seen quite a few reviews on this now. And seen quite a lot of feedback on it, and some people seem to be loving this and some people seem to be not that keen on it, and I've seen a couple of people that are hating on it. So it's been a bit of a worrying time, but after watching it, I have to say, guys, as a lifelong Star Wars fan who has seen the original in the cinema, Star Wars, when I was 4 years old, it means an awful lot to me, the Star Wars franchise. I really like this film. I thought it was, for me, such a fun movie to watch. It felt like watching the first Star Wars movie again, in a sense of, when you watched the first Star Wars movie, you didn't know there were sequels coming and all that kind of stuff. You just enjoyed it for what it were. And I felt like I could enjoy this movie almost like with no strings attached. It wasn't worrying about setting up sequels and prequels and movie universes. Yes, it had to be respectful to the Star Wars universe. Everything it did would be canon and all that kind of stuff, and so it had to handle some things with care, granted, but it could tell its own story. It could have fun and allow you as an audience member to have fun, and I think this is this movie's biggest strength. You just watch it and have fun and not worry about it, that it's being completely genuine to all the fans, or it's, not worrying about making a misstep here and there, or because it does make a couple of missteps, this movie, but I don't think it should be punished for that, because I think what it was trying to do was quite brave, and ultimately at the core of this movie, it's a lot of fun. And this movie focuses on the young life of Han Solo, played by Aiden Heidenreich. And I have to say, I thought he did a magnificent job. What a pair of shoes to fill, Harrison Ford. And I think he does a really fantastic job. He doesn't try and do an impersonation of Harrison Ford. He does his own version of it, and occasionally you see glimpses of Harrison Ford in him, and glimpses of that roguish charm that we saw in Harrison Ford's performance in Han Solo. But he puts his own twist on it, and I thought he did a really good job. The cast members all are great, generally speaking. Lando Calrissian's great. Chewie, and seeing Chewie and Han together, it really does put a smile on your face. Woody Harrelson's great. Everybody does a fine job in this movie. And like I say, it focuses on the young life of Han Solo as he makes his way out of slavery, pretty much, and his main goal is to save Emilia Clarke, the woman he's in love with, and to get his own ship and basically be a smuggler. That's his main goal in life. And he teams up with Woody Harrelson's team of criminals in the hope that he can do a job with them and get enough money to make his dreams come true and go and rescue Emilia Clarke and get himself a ship. Things don't go according to plan, and they then have to do a huge job for this huge criminal organisation run by Paul Bettany, and if they don't do this mission, then basically they've had it, they're dead. So they have to go on an even more challenging mission to get what they need to get out of it in one piece. And that, I don't want to say anything else on the story because I don't want to spoil it. But like I say, it has fun telling its own story, and even though you do see along the way things like how Han, meets Lando for the first time, and Chewie, and how he comes by the Millennium Falcon, and how he does the part the run in 12 parsecs, whatever it is, I forget the name of the run he was doing. You learn all those little things in this movie, and it fills in some of the gaps in the other movies that we've mentioned, but it doesn't weigh the movie down. It has fun telling its own story, and I think that is the biggest strength of this movie. It doesn't weigh itself down with the Star Wars universe weighing heavily on it and fan expectations. It's brave enough to do its own thing. And for me, I enjoyed this more than Rogue One as a standalone movie. I thought, as good as Rogue One was, that was weighed down by the story it had to tell. This isn't as much. I thought, in regard to missteps, I thought they tried to overwrite it at times, but also some of the characters, the new characters they introduced us to, were misfires. I think some of them, and I'm not going to say who, because you can make your own mind up when you watch it. And also, they tried to make you feel emotion for characters that you just met, and I don't think that worked either, really. So I thought that was a bit of a misstep. And they've got a wisecracking android again in here, similar to Rogue One, and again, I thought it worked in Rogue One. I don't think it worked so much here. I wasn't overly keen on the wisecracking android that they had in this. But other than that, I can't give you an awful lot of weaknesses here, guys. Like I say, it's a Star Wars movie that isn't afraid to have fun, isn't afraid to throw everything at the screen. The effects, generally speaking, are really fantastic. For me, I got a sense of joy and wonder. It was almost like when I watched Ready Player One recently, I felt like a kid again with what they were showing me. And there's certain things in this movie I felt like a kid again. Where when he met Chewie for the first time and they started becoming friends, and the sense of wonder when Han was on the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and it reminded me of when I was a kid again. And I think they've captured something fairly magical with this movie, and I think it should be applauded for it. It's not overly deep. I was about to say some Star Wars purists might find things to hate in here, but I consider myself a Star Wars purist. You know what I mean? I'm allowed to like this movie because I've watched the original right from when I was 4 years old. I've watched them all. So whatever, from my perspective as a huge Star Wars fan, I think whatever fans throw at this movie, there will be pick holes in it. I'm sure there will be things to pick holes on here, but I don't care. I'm not one of these movie fans or reviewers that likes to overanalyze and pick apart movies, because I'm sure you could. If I sat and analysed this movie and made notes on it for half a week, I could pick holes in it if I chose to, but I don't choose to. I just choose to say that I had this fun watching this movie. It put a smile on my face. It made me feel like a kid again. And I think they've done a fantastic job with this movie. And if you're a real Star Wars fan, then you're going to have fun with it. So give it a chance, guys. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. That's my review for Solo, a Star Wars story. Thanks for watching.